Okay, good morning, everybody. How we doing today? The rains have stopped, the sun is out, so that's nice, but thanks everybody for being here today, and I really want to thank Humana for hosting us as well. But when you think about great companies in the history of the country, much less the history of our city, well, Humana would be at the top of the list. For over 50 years here in Louisville, they have been showing us the way in terms of innovation, entrepreneurship, community involvement, philanthropy, partnership with Actors Theater, with the New American Plays, just so many ways that Humana has been critical to the success of Louisville. So I want to thank them for hosting us here today and being a model for all companies about innovation and technology, employee empowerment. So you guys got a great company. Let's hear it for Humana here. We've got great momentum in our city. Everybody's aware of that. You can just look at the skyline and see it. You can see it in our job numbers, over 61,000 new jobs, 2,600 new businesses, $9 billion of capital construction has taken place in the city as well, and that's all great. But we also have to recognize that we're living in a time, both here in our city, our country, and certainly in the world, where things are changing so fast. The global economy is leaving too many people out, and so it's important that we create as many on-ramps as we can so that people make sure that they have a pathway to success. And that's why Humana certainly, but all of our companies as well, need a workforce of lifelong learners, so critical to succeeding in today's world. Lifelong learning is one of our city's core values, along with health and compassion. And we certainly know that in a changing world, if you're a lifelong learner, your odds for success go way up. When you think about kind of where we're at relative to degrees work, in our city today, there are more than 91,000 people, most of them are working, who have some college credit, but who have not completed a degree yet. And there are a lot of different reasons for that. We might be one of them. You certainly know somebody as well. I've been wanting to get my degree, but you feel like you're snowed in at work. Life gets in the way. Home gets in the way. Kids get in the way. Beautiful things get in the way. But in the back of your mind, you're saying, boy, I'd like to get that degree. You might say, oh, I'm too old. I can't go back to school. You're never too old to go back and get a degree and really experience the joy in learning. Or you might say that I just don't know if I can do it. Well, that's wrong. Anybody can do this, and you see it time and time again. So today, I'm excited to announce that help is on its way, and that anybody that wants to go back to school to get a degree does not have to do this alone. So we're launching a new venture called Degrees Work, which will partner with organizations and companies like Humana to provide focused and customized services to encourage workers to complete their degree in an area that you love. The Degrees Work program brings college coaches to an employer's workplace to provide one-on-one support, coaching, and mentoring to try to help you figure out what works for you. Making sure that you're enrolled in a flexible degree program that, most importantly to me, matches where you are today relative to your schedule, your finances, your career goals, and as I mentioned earlier, getting a degree somewhere that makes you happy, gives you joy, so that when you come to work, you're saying like, this isn't work, this is who I am, and you get to express that in the workplace, and you get paid for it as well. So through Degrees Work, people can find ways to pay for college and ensure they receive credit for prior learning, including credit transfers. So this is a big deal. A lot of people say, well, it's going to take too long, it's going to cost too much. When you sit down with a coach and you go through what your resume is, what you've done in the past, it may not be just the credit hours you've received in a traditional college environment. Some of the work that you've done before may also apply for credits as well. So you need to sit down and really understand where your position is before you decide what to do. Now, focusing this way on a company or an organization's entire workforce will help, I think, create a supercharged lifelong learning environment that encourages even more people to finish their degree. And this is kind of a contagious thing. We see this at Metro, where in Althea, 5 years ago said, I'm going to finish my degree. For a couple of years, she said, I can't do this. There's no way. It's going to take too long. She now is in her final semester of getting her degree, and she's, I don't know if I can say this or not, but well, she's at least 49. How about that? And boy, you talk about someone showing pride in us being proud of her. So this is a great step here today with Degrees Work for Louisville companies. We've got low unemployment right now in the city, about 3.8%, which is great, but it puts companies in a fierce battle for talented employees. So Degrees Work, companies can offer their employees an affordable new benefit, a smoother path toward a 2-year and 4-year degree, which then in turn increases retention and loyalty rates while building skills among their teams. And there's nothing quite like working for a company when you sit down with your boss or your boss's boss or a coach and says, let's talk about you. And let's talk about how growing your talents can be good for your career, your family, and good for the company as well. That's the kind of company that you want to work for, and obviously that's the type of loyalty and excitement in a workforce that you want to have as well. Now, we're delighted to be here as Humana because you got a few employees here in our great city. 12,000 employees in the Louisville area. So Humana is the largest employer to join Degrees Work, and many of the employees that you see with us today will be taking advantage of this assistance. I want to thank Humana for their leadership in this effort, and I'd like to ask Kevin Stakelum, Talent Acquisition Director for Humana, to tell us more. Humana is stepping up every time we want to grow talent in our community and saying, let us be part of this solution, let us be part of figuring out how we can improve every day, and Humana's partnership with Degrees Work is just another example of that. Kevin?
Good morning. For us, the decision to partner with Degrees Work was a pretty easy one. The company has always been an environment where continued learning was encouraged. We have entire organizations within the company that dedicate their time to providing that type of learning and development. And they do a great job. When we first heard about Degrees Work, what we realized was, although we have some great benefits, primarily through the use of tuition reimbursement, and we have some flexibility in some of our positions that would allow and is conducive to that, which is why these benefits are available. One of the things that we continue to hear and continue to experience was it was really hard. Like, if I want to go back to college, who do I call? Which college do I go to? We are lucky to have a great variety of choices of institutions that can help with external learning and degree attainment. But that actually makes it more complex for someone who has a family and has, work obligations and other things in life that are still going on. So when we had the chance to partner, we were really excited. What this program allows us to do is it allows us to take our programs. They help us to advertise and create approaches to make people aware of them. And then it provides us with professionals who know the area, know the colleges, know the degrees, know the details, can assist on things such as financial aid and matching the degree goal of the individual to the college that's best suited to meet that goal. And so we felt like this program is something that is really going to help accelerate the workforce. So far, we have over 150 people who've approached the program, and this program is fairly new. And so the response has been overwhelming, and we're really excited about what we think the results will show. At the end of the day, it is about results. It's about degree attainment, and anything that we can do to make that easier in partnership with experts who can help us to apply the benefits that we already supply to our associates. We just feel like that's a great thing. It's a win for the associate, a win for the company, and a win for the community. So we're excited to be participating, and we look forward to continued successes.
Thank you, Kevin. I'd like to recognize Roger Cood as well, who's being very low-key, hanging out in the crowd here. But Roger, amongst other things, is in charge of all HR for Humana. So we appreciate your both active involvement but thought leadership in this and all of our other programs as well. For you and Kevin, Humana associates, you all should know that Humana steps up every time we ask for help. Y'all have done a great job with our Summer Works program as well, which is for our youth age 16 to 21 for summer jobs in the community. Last year was your first year, and now you're integrating that into your whole workforce development pipeline. We just appreciate all the work that you and your all's company does. So thank you very much for that. Now, none of this stuff matters if it doesn't really have a direct impact on people. So we're going to hear directly from someone who's taking that important step of returning to college with the help of Degrees Work, and that is Elizabeth Priddy, a program manager in claims processing and project management here at Humana. Elizabeth.
Hello. So this is my very first time speaking in a spotlight such as this. And I never, ever anticipated that I would be following a master speaker such as the mayor. But just like... Thanks. Just like Degrees Work, I didn't anticipate that coming my way. I did not anticipate within the last couple of weeks registering for college again. I did not anticipate this opportunity to be before you facing one of my greater fears. So 2017 is looking to be a year I'm going to reach my goals far earlier than I thought. I'm going to have to create some new ones. So yeah, I'm Elizabeth Priddy. I've been with Humana for 10 years now, and right before I came, I finished a degree. I finished a technical degree in radiography. I quickly learned during the clinical process in the emergency room setting, trauma wasn't for me. But I'm the daughter of a wonderful, educated 68-year-old disabled woman who was mere credits away from completing her degree. And she served as a teaching assistant to children with special needs for over 20 years and never finished her degree. So I've always kind of had it in the back of my mind. I've seen what that's done to her morale. I've seen what that's done to her income. While I'm remarkably proud of what she's contributed to individuals for many, many years, I know that she wishes she could have completed. She was literally 6 credits away from her degree. And for me, I want my children, my 8-year-old and 9-year-old, to be proud of me. And I want to have a degree that I will actually use. Clearly, if I'm here, I'm not using my radiography degree. But I chose to finish that program so that I could have that sense of completion that my mom never got. So fast forward 10 years later, 2 children later, 3 homes later, a marriage, a busy life. I'm now a caregiver for my mother. I never thought that my schooling would take a front seat to anything again. And frankly, I've been blessed with a wonderful career at Humana. I began in an entry-level position, and fast forward 10 years later, I'm a program manager, and I have my project management professional PMP certification, and I have the most wonderful management I could hope for to support my goals. And my current manager now, Ramona, forwarded me an email for Degrees Works at the beginning of this month, or Degrees Work. And we hadn't even had a discussion in recent one-on-ones about my future education. She was simply sharing information about a new program. And she even said verbatim, no pressure. So she knew, she's been my manager for some years now, she knew that's always been in the back of my mind, but she also knows I have an overwhelming life. I have a son that has special needs who we've recently started homeschooling full-time. We've started a non-traditional home life I never would have expected, but it's exactly what meets the needs of my family. And so now I have an opportunity from clicking on the Degrees Work email on a whim and filling out a basic form. Within an hour, I had Whitney, my higher education coach, contacting me. And she said, "What's stopping you? What has kept you from it all these years?" One thing, I hate math a whole lot. Like, I literally would avoid college for the remainder of my life to avoid calculus and the likes. She said, "Let's talk about that." She asked me about my prior schooling, about my goals, about my interests, and within a single phone call helped me develop an individualized plan that met my needs and helped me narrow down what was for me an overwhelming number of universities and an overwhelming number of degree options to 2 universities that sounded like they would fit me, to 2 associate or bachelor's degree programs that sounded exactly like what I want to pursue, that do fit my life goals, that do fit my career choices. And within a matter of a couple of conversations with her, she connected me to Sullivan University admissions, personally introduced me, and held my hand even to the point of submitting a request for my transcripts on my behalf. Couldn't have made it any easier. She put me at ease right away. And where I started the phone call thinking, there is no way I'm going to do this, I ended the phone call feeling like, I can. It is not that big of a commitment. It is for me. It is the right thing, and I have help. And since then, I have identified a program that, without compromising the integrity of my degree, I get to avoid math. And I still get a bachelor's that I want. And so now I start school back March 27th. I couldn't think of a spotlight like this that would motivate me anymore to complete. Pressure's on. But I start back March 27th for a bachelor's in interdisciplinary business studies. I got to choose my concentrations. I've even gotten to unexpectedly customize the courses. Again, avoiding the math, but also pursuing management, learning opportunities that I've always yearned for. So I could continue to go on, but I will say I've finished my radiography degree, though it was a technical degree, and that interdisciplinary business studies program allowed me to transfer all of my credits. And I never thought, and I'd even contacted universities years ago, that any or some of my credits would even transfer. But as it turns out, I'm 38% complete with my bachelor's before I even start on March 27th. And that feels really good. So, and that's another reason that Whitney helped me feel like this was completely manageable. I'm not looking at 4 years of full-time school ahead of me. I'm looking at 2.5 plus 1 course and a quarter. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to my boss for randomly sending me the email. And I hope that I can, in 2.5 years, show you guys my degree.
All right. Great speaker. All right. So if Elizabeth can do it, you can do it. And you're a good speaker, too. Great job. Great job. All right. That's what this is all about. So in addition to Humana, Louisville Metro government, that's your city government, and Universal Woods, a Jeffersontown manufacturer, have engaged Degrees Work to help their employees return to college as well. So the Degrees Work is being managed by Kentuckiana Works. That's our workforce development agency here in Louisville, which is also doing other innovative work with initiatives like our Summer Works Youth Jobs program that I just spoke about, and our Code Louisville training that's recognized as best in the country. So I'd like to ask Executive Director Michael Gritton to tell us more about Degrees Work and introduce the lead college coach. Michael Gritton.
Good morning. I have just a couple of quick jobs to do. Number one, I want to make sure companies out there understand what we're describing. In a world with an unemployment rate below 4%, companies now are competing very fiercely for talent. And we think Degrees Work is a way that companies can set themselves apart by helping to keep great employees like Elizabeth, right? They stay, they move up educationally, and they end up taking better jobs in your company. So part of the pitch around Degrees Work is we want companies to think of this as something that they pay for, because this is not something that is free, right? Not everything can be covered by tax dollars or your government dollars. So instead, this is something that companies have to pay for. But Humana, Universal Woods, and the city so far are paying for that because they believe in investing in their talent as a win-win for their company, both for individuals and for the talent levels inside their company. Another really cool thing about the way we've structured Degrees Work is that we have 7 higher education institution partners. So you heard that Sullivan is one, University of Louisville and Jefferson Community and Technical College. We have Bellarmine, we have Spalding, we have IUS, and we have Ivy Tech. So again, our name is Kentuckiana Works because we know this is a 12-county area that includes Southern Indiana. We appreciate those Southern Indiana schools being part of this. So when someone like Elizabeth calls Degrees Work, we have relationships with those schools. All 7 have an individual person who's agreed to be our contact. They've agreed to waive some of the admission fees for people to get in and have priority for people to get in, right? So that is all excellent. So again, if you're a company, we want you to call us and talk to us about what it may cost, because it's very modestly priced, and it depends on how many people you're going to send us, what it would cost you. But we think it's really worthwhile, because what we hear from companies over and over again is, we have tuition reimbursement programs, but people don't seem to use them very much. And the reason they don't use them is because they face exactly what Elizabeth described to you. I wasn't sure if my credits would transfer. I wasn't sure which school to call, and I wasn't sure which degree would be able to help me. That's all what we try to provide with our really super talented college coaches. So lastly, what I want to do is just introduce you to our senior college coach, Whitney Carter Roberts, who's going to describe to you a little bit more how that works and what it is that we're able to bring to folks. So Whitney?
Thank you, Michael. For those working adults who are seeking to return to college and complete their degree through Degrees Work, what I want to tell you is that we hear your story, so we hear the stories like Elizabeth's stories. We will respect that story, and we understand the challenges and barriers that you face. So if you come to us with a story and you're worried about how it might sound, just know that there's nothing that you can tell us that we probably haven't heard. So our college coaches will be there to support you, to encourage you, to give you the information and resources to get matched to a college and degree program that will truly fit your unique needs, including your work schedule, your at-home schedule, all that good stuff we will take into consideration. We couldn't do what we do without our employer partners and our college partners, because they have truly rallied together to not only say, are we going to encourage working adults to complete their degree, but we are going to go one step further and provide you with the support services to do so. So with that said, we are very excited to go forward, and we thank you for your support.
Thank you, Whitney. And I must say, I was impressed by the 1-hour response time that Elizabeth reported. Very good. Now, Degrees Work is part of our 55,000 Degrees movement, which has set a goal of 50% of Louisville's workforce earning at least an associate's degree by the year 2020, and we're well on our way to do that. Degrees Work has been kind of a dream, 55,000 degrees for a long time, and it's really great to see how it's coming together with such effectiveness. That wouldn't be possible if we didn't have a great leader, our founder of 55,000 Degrees, and we will now hear from her. Please welcome Mary Gwen Wheeler.
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. This is really exciting. This is, part of a larger movement, as the mayor said. And, when we 7 years ago started 55,000 Degrees, we knew that adult students were going to be key to that success of that initiative. We have a big goal. We want 50% of our population, adult working age population, to have at least an associate's degree or higher. And that's by 2020. And we knew that simply, the math wasn't there, that if you just get every single high school senior to go on to college, we wouldn't be able to reach that goal. We needed to have more students go back and finish their degree. We're very encouraged. 2015 census numbers showed our highest one-year gain. We had 3% gain in the attainment rate in Louisville, and that brought us to 44.7%, almost 55%, which is well above the national average. And that actually added 12,000 degrees from the previous year. The best part about that, though, is that 43% of that gain was gained by people 35 to 44. So we know that the older student is getting the message, they can do it, and that it's worthwhile. Another indication, as the mayor had said earlier, of how many people in our community have some college but no degree. When we first started this, that number was about 100,000 people, almost 100,000 people. That's down to 91,000. So again, our whole population is understanding the value of that degree. You know, what's been said already, and I just want to reiterate a bit, is that adults have a clear vision of why that degree is valuable. You know, they know that it can make a difference in promotion. They know it can make a difference in learning a technical skill or just upskilling to be able to do their job better, to be an example to their children for their own personal satisfaction. But as you heard, it can be intimidating, and that again is why we're so excited to have these college coaches. We've been working at this for a while and with various iterations. There are employers out there that want to help. We really feel like this is the right package now with these college coaches, because they can help you do those things that that have already been mentioned, of the prior learning, the getting exactly the right fit, learning how to fit it around your schedule, and how to best leverage that company tuition reimbursement and other financial aid and grants that are out there. It's usually a lot less intimidating than you think. And the other thing I just want to say is, remember, you've got a lot going for you as an adult learner. You may be thinking, what am I doing sitting next to this 19-year-old in class? But you, for one, have more discipline, probably more maturity, hopefully, a little stick-to-itiveness. You have much clearer defined goals, and you've got that heightened motivation to succeed, and you know what a degree could mean. So again, this is really just to encourage all the adults out there thinking about this. This is your opportunity. Degrees Work is the answer. And it's a kind of partnership when our higher ed partnerships, our funders, there are a number of funders that have been involved. I better mention them. Humana Foundation, the Lumina Foundation, CENS, the Community Foundation of Louisville, and Chase had all at different points or another helped us really package this program and get it running. So when higher ed, when the financial philanthropy community, government, and business all come together, that's how we create Louisville's talent hub. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mary Gwen. Just huge amount of progress in the last 7 years, so thanks to you and your team. Okay, so employers and adult learners can get more information about Degrees Work and connect with Whitney and her team at the website, which is degrees-work.org. So Degrees Work joins a companion initiative, the Kentuckiana Works College Access Center, in helping people earn a college degree. The College Access Center, which is federally funded, is particularly focused on helping individuals who are lower income or first-generation college goers. So you can contact the center at 502-584-0475 for more information. Now with 55,000 degrees, our new Degrees Work and the College Access Center, Louisville is bringing innovation and a lot of horsepower to helping people get college degrees. So now, our final speaker, let's hear from somebody who brings a national perspective on the importance and challenges of creating more college graduates. For a long time, we were following Graduate Philadelphia and seeing that as a model and talking about, boy, if we could put something like that in place, that would be really fantastic for our community. Hadass Sheffer ran Graduate Philadelphia, but now she stepped up a notch and is the president of the Graduate Network Incorporated. So Hadass, welcome to town, and thank you for all of your help. Let's hear from Hadass Sheffer over here. Okay, moved on.
Thank you. We're very sneaky about how we do our work. I want to congratulate Louisville on achieving what so many cities around the country are trying to do, and that is to complete a three-pronged approach to upgrading your talent. The first part is importing talent, and I know that you have been working on this for a long time. Louisville has become more and more attractive to people from outside to move here, especially through GLI and the city's talent attraction initiative. There's also the Grow Your Own, and we've just heard several programs mentioned about how Louisville is investing in bringing up career-ready younger people. The third strategy, which we are celebrating here, the first step, is transforming your current workforce so that they can participate in what the city needs in order to grow and to improve their own career outcomes. This last strategy, the transform your talent, has, in our belief, has a very long-lasting impact, because when you change an adult's career path, you're changing the career paths of everyone around them, their children. So you're enhancing the work and the investments that you're putting into your youth and your schools. You're changing their friends, because they will talk about what Degrees work is doing to help them and their families. You're transforming your employers. You're transforming your higher eds, because they will now be working with more and more of the population that needs to finish a degree. And it's a faster strategy too, because as we heard, a lot of people only need a couple years to finish a degree versus not ever finishing their degree and feeling left behind. So we feel that with Degrees Work, Louisville will finally realize the return on the investment that you've been putting for so long and so diligently into your higher ed and into your population here that could benefit from a college degree. And we're really, really proud of the work that you're